Hey YouTube, I have yet another deck tech for you guys today. This one is based on another favorite one of my cards called Biovisionary. Biovisionary is at the beginning of your end step. If you control 4 or more creatures named Biovisionary, you win the game. So it is one of those cards. I love cards that say you win the game, and I do love to make decks based off of them. So let's go ahead and go through this deck. Definitely you need a playset of Biovisionaries because they are your win condition, one of your win conditions. So put 4 of those in. I have 4 Elvish Archdruids. This card is really unfair in any elf deck. Boosts up your elves, gives you massive amounts of mana, which you will need for this deck. And definitely it is really a good card in any elf deck. I think any elf deck should run this card. I have 2 Birds of Paradise. Since this is a 2-color deck, Birds of Paradise really does help out a lot. You may go ahead and put more of these in if you need it, but again, since you have a lot of elves in this deck, you really don't need any more mana creatures. I have 2 Arbor Elves, mainly again for ramp and for a lot of the spells that you'll be using later on. I have 4 Elvish Visionaries. They help out with your Elvish Archdruids. They give you a card draw, and they give you 1/1 body as well. So Elvish Visionaries are always a popular favorite elf to use, and they definitely work very well later on with some cards in this deck, such as Genesis Wave and so forth. Of course, I have a playset of Llanowar Elves. These are definitely your best mana dorks that everybody uses. Put in a playset of these, and I have 3 Soul of the Harvest. Since you'll be playing a lot of elves later on in the game, if you have, if you keep on drawing elves 1/1s, they're not going to really help you out a lot. So Soul of the Harvest is actually a really good card. I like it a lot. It's 6 mana for a 6/6 trample by itself, but it also has a card drawing ability. So anytime you play an elf, basically becomes another Elvish Visionary at that point. So these are really good, and using these in conjunction with Genesis Wave, it really goes through your deck really quickly. So 3 of these. And then, just for fun, I have 1 Primordial Hydra. Because elves will be producing a lot of mana for you, this guy can get pretty big, and of course, since it doubles itself every upkeep, this is another threat that your opponents will have to deal with. So they're basically going to have to waste a removal spell just to get rid of this guy, and that gives you a little bit more time to get your combo piece off. Next up, we have our non-creature spells. I have a playset of Infinite Reflection, or Infinite Reflection. This is one of your win conditions because basically once you enchant any of your creatures with this aura, that creature, all your other creatures become a copy of that creature. So this in conjunction with Biovisionary obviously puts all your creatures into Biovisionaries, and by the end of the turn you will win the game. So this is definitely one of your win conditions. It is 6 mana, but in a deck full of elves, I don't think the mana will be a serious issue. So try to put these out as quickly as possible because it's really good. Unless they have an instant or something to remove anything, you will basically win the game at the point. Because remember, Biovisionary's win condition is at the end of your turn, not your upkeep. Next, my second win condition is 3 Rite of Replications. When this card was spoiled in Zendikar, I was pretty happy. This is a pretty crazy card, very unfair. Definitely early on in the game you can scare your opponents by just cloning your Biovisionaries, so they can focus on trying to get rid of it so you don't win. But later on in the game, especially when you have the mana, and you will have the mana for it again because of your elves, paying its kicker cost to copy it basically 5 times, your 5 Biovisionaries, that will help you win the game as well. There are also, remember, you have the Soul of the Harvest, and you have your Elvish Archdruids as well. If you clone your Elvish Archdruids with the kicker, you're basically giving every other elf +4 or +5, sorry, and that is another way to overrun your opponents. So Rite of Replication really is a great card. Remember, you can also copy any of your opponent's creatures as well. So if they have anything good, like a Primal Titan or any Titan for that matter, you can copy it with the kicker and basically use their own creatures against them. One of my favorite cards, definitely. It is a good card. You need 3 of those. Next, I have 2 called the Kindreds. I put these in for just the fun of it. what this card does is basically every upkeep you get to look at the top 5 cards of your library, and if any of those cards share the same creature type as a creature that you own, you may put that creature card into play for free. So this helps out with your elves, it helps out with the Biovisionaries, so you might want to, you can try this out. It's a fun card, not really powerful, but it's really good. For some protection, I have 2 Simic Charms. Giving one of your creatures +3/+3. It can help your Biovisionaries from a bolt. Giving your creatures hexproof as well, or permanent, sorry, for hexproof as well is really good. And at worst, it can be a summon, unsummon for your creatures or for theirs. So it's a good utility card. I have 2 of these. I have 1 Genesis Wave. Genesis Wave, obviously in an elf deck, is very scary. You will be able to get your Biovisionaries out, you'll be able to get your Soul of the Harvest out, you're getting all your Elvish Visionaries, all these creatures out at once. If you really don't win the game after this, there's something wrong most of the time. But Genesis Wave I have 1 of. You can go ahead and put 2 of these. You can go ahead and replace one of your Call of the Kindreds if you feel like these are too slow. But Genesis Waves and any elf deck, any mana heavy deck, is very scary, and this will definitely win the games for you. Another fun card, not a serious card that I put in, is Primal Surge. Again, if you want this deck to be competitive, take this card out. But I put this in because I do like to play mythic rares and rares that nobody else plays. It's a fun card because there's a little, there's that random chance to draw your entire deck or most of your deck, and it's one of those cards that nobody really plays, so it's really fun. And last but not least, I have 1 Syncophate. Yes, it is control. Most of the time you will not use this, but in that weird case that your combo does not go off late in the game and you need to counter one of their wraths or anything like that, I have 1 of these. Again, you can go ahead and replace your Call of the Kindreds if you feel like it, or even your Simic Charms if they're not really helping you out, for more control. And because this is a blue-green deck, it is very powerful, gives you a lot of mana, and it gives you a decent amount of control as well. For lands, I do recommend that you have maybe some of your shock lands, because the 2 blue and the Rite of Replication is sometimes hard to get, so having duals will help you out quite a bit. Having the shock lands in addition with your Arbor Elves helps out quite a bit as well, because they do count as forests as well as islands. Other than that, Hinterland Harbors or any of the tap lands work out pretty well, but you do want to make sure that you balance out your mana base really well. So there you have it. Again, it's a fun deck to play. It does actually help you in multiplayer games as well, because you don't have to really worry about your opponents, you just have to worry about your combo piece. It does put you as a big target though, so you try to you have to play pretty carefully and just play pretty quietly as well. So I hope you had fun. Please subscribe, like this video, and just let me know if you guys have any requests. Thanks!